Well folks, welcome to Picking Reels. Okay, so first off I'm going to show you some of the things we're going to get in the shop shortly. We've got quite a few of these old 1940s reels. This is an old Cox Popular, and these are all in nice condition now, ready to be used for the fly season, which is coming along shortly. We've got a nice little old Cox there. That's a small Gilmore. It's about a 3-inch. That's a great little reel for brook fishing. Here we've got an Edgar Seeley fly light. All very good quality Edgar Seeley. Very well made to a good high spec. What I've got there is this is the salmon reel. It's a 4-inch Pride X, which is a beautiful salmon reel. Very usable, very renovated condition. So let's just move across here. Another old Cox Popular. This is a slightly newer one, but it's kind of got the same configuration. Now here, this is the old wood type fly reel. As I recall, this is actually an old Cox. It's got an old Cox mark on the brass somewhere on the base, I think just there. That's a very nice reel. That's beautiful, in fact. It looks really good. The ratchet is a bit tricky, but it is pretty old, you know. Okay, so that's that over with. There's not much going on that's interesting there. I'll show you a few reels that we found in an old garage. So first off here, this is a convex, and this, if you tighten this up, it jams. And it jams because somebody has put 2 base washers into it instead of 1. But it has got the base washer, which is the important thing. This is an old Cox Popular from about 1940. Now you see that? That's because the base washer is present. So that's the thing you got to check for when you're buying these. If you don't have the base washer, you can struggle a little bit to get these reels to work properly. There isn't an awful lot of play on that either. It's a brass shaft on this one. I remember in our other video we told you not to buy the ones with the brass shaft unless you check them out properly. Right at the bottom of the box here, we have an old, I think it's a Pride X. It's an old Pride X, which is in full working order. Now this is a wide drum, which is a little bit rarer and good for balancing out vintage rods because they're quite hefty. Okay, so what we have here is a pair of Mitchells. Now these had some pretty good quality fly line on these when we arrived, so we'll be selling these reels with the virtually new quality fly line on them. This one, obviously this one's a smaller, this is a 752 and that's 756. There's a bit more wear on this one. I'm just going to show you a particular problem that you get with these Mitchell reels. You see, you take the slitter latch off and remove the drum. There's very little wear on this, so it's actually quite a good reel. It's in good condition. Now we've removed the spring clip here, so don't worry about that because we actually took that off. And if you remove this, there is a washer which you can see there, and the spring's slightly different arrangement. I think Mitchell maybe had a different patent to the other manufacturers when it comes to this kind of thing. So this is a good reel frame. It's good and straight. It's got the line guide on it. It's got a bit more paint than the other one. Now this is the problem that I wanted to show you with these reels, is that Mitchell have a bit of a reputation of making plastic parts that didn't really last. If you look at the 206 and the 410, they've got bail armrests which made of plastic, which didn't really last properly either, and they're hard to get hold of now as well because they're a vintage obsolete reel, so you have to generally make your own, which is not too difficult. Now this particular style of Mitchell reel has this ratchet wheel, and that's what it's for the ratchet. And you can see there, what they've done is they've moulded plastic around a steel part. As the plastic gets older, it shrinks, becomes more brittle and cracks, and it may also be as a result of some of the chemical components of the oils and greases that are used that helps to do that. I'm not sure. And this one isn't actually too bad. It has a little bit of a bad bit just there. If you can hold these together, then they work perfectly for another 40-50 years, you know, they'll be fine. And so what we do with these is we put a brass or a copper rim around them just to stop them from disintegrating any further. and then we sometimes treat them with a bit of clear epoxy just to make sure they're good and sound. And that's what you've got on this particular reel, and that's the story here that I wanted to show you in picking reels, because one of the things that you've got to watch for when you're buying the Mitchell 7 series, and they are otherwise in perfect working order, you know, nothing wrong with these, is if we take the Slater catch off this one and just rock it a bit, there's very little wear, it's very tight, you know, it's in nice condition. But you can see the, if we come off here, we've got the washer there, you can see this particular, let's see if I can get the autofocus to come in, this particular reel, ratchet reel it's called, I think. You can see there's a lot of cracking on it, and some cracks could be fatal. And again, we've stabilised this with a copper band. In this case, you can use brass also, and it should go on for another 20-30 years like that. It should be okay, you know. It's not all this wheel does is it just drives the ratchet, so it's not like a huge deal. But this is something that you have to watch for, because on some reels these are completely disintegrated and parts of them are missing, and they are very difficult to get hold of now. Okay folks, that brings us to the end of this little episode of Picking Reels. Thanks very much for watching.